I did.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let me double check and see about. I'll let you get started, Goober. You're fine. You're good.
All right, you plugged in?
I know. I'm signed in.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Oh. What?
What? Your mic is off.
We're sending something over there that we can.
Yeah, because this.
Hey, do we press record?
You're so silly.
Oh. It's the Hey Techies Show. Now.
Well, welcome to the show. Of January. What month is this? Good grief. January.
Ask me in a few minutes.
20th. The day we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. here in the United States. Maybe in other places of the world. I don't know. By the way, Guru, and just a little note here, if you will turn my headset up a click, that's probably okay right there.
You said a click.
I did.
It's not clicking. So.
Nah, go back just a hair. Okay, I will go with that. Guru, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I just like to mess with Chief Techie.
No, you're fine. And how is the Bruce?
Be better with some wings.
I was afraid of you know us and food.
Negative.
You know us and
I was not going to get out of line at the store.
Heck, I don't blame him.
And I was lucky to get here before the show started.
Oh.
Well, I think we were all there, probably lucky for that. So.
Remind me to tell you something.
Oh. Well,
how are you?
I'm doing fine. I did pretty much nothing today, except for I took my daughter to IHOB or IHOP for those.
I thought they got rid of the burgers.
No, they have burgers there.
Or the
It was just all it was just a gimmick, like almost everything else is a gimmick. But seriously, I took her there and we had a good time, just me and her. I really prepped for the show some today, obviously. Those kind of things, but otherwise a pretty good day. And but really cold today. Blistery cold today.
It was cold.
So
my pool pump is running almost all day.
Really?
Yeah, I think it cut off for a few hours once it hit.
Does it warm the water?
No.
It just circulates the water.
Yeah, it circulates water. I think once it drops below 38,
yeah,
it circulates the water.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
I tried to get water out of my garden hose and it was all frozen in there. I had to stretch it out to let it thaw a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I turned the water back on and it just shoots ice out of it.
Oh, well, some people pay for that effect.
That's true.
Yeah, I should have.
My goodness.
I should have collected an issue or something.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday I went to the Brick Fair Lego Expo.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
That was pretty
cool. Give us an update on that. That was pretty interesting.
I just gave you all the update.
Oh, come on.
Bruce went to the Brick Fair. End of story.
End of story.
Oh, come on.
Took
There's
my
more to
daughter
it than
and-
that. Gotta be.
My son took both of them and they built some things. She won some stuff.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Bud had ball.
Yeah, I mean they had some fair games set up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She threw the ball into the old mason jars or whatever.
Right.
Got a pack of it.
But you were telling me, just looking at a lot of the exhibits, you were thinking money and time.
Yeah, more money and time than I mean, that was just my.
Was it more money or more time? Which one was the
It was probably equal.
Equal.
Because man, some of these people had some elaborate, and it worked. It was not kit made stuff. It was stuff that they built on their own.
How'd they source all the pieces like that to tear into a bunch of?
No, I mean you can sort them.
Yeah, some of them are kits, but not all of them.
Yeah. You can go to get Legos.
Oh yeah, there's a Lego store where you just go buy bulk Legos.
There was even one. The guy had this. This just amazed me. They had. I mean, it was probably from this side of this table to that side of that table. It was like castles and stuff.
Probably
And they
like
had
maybe 2 meters long.
No, that's probably
that's over 8 feet from this table to that table. The other side of that table.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
about
say,
an
that's
8-foot
I was gonna
table.
say that's probably from this side to the other side.
It's 8.5 feet.
How do you know?
I'm counting the tiles. That's 2,
Oh.
4, 6, 8, 8.
Yeah, but we're at an angle. I was
No.
gonna say from
It's
that,
about
that
8.5
edge to that
It
edge.
was
That's
very,
what I said about 9
it was
feet.
very long.
Fine, I'll accept 9 feet. I don't care.
Anyways, but
8.75.
like the water and stuff, it was really neat because they took like the clear
Yes.
blue
Clear blue.
little Legos and kind of just spread them out. Didn't push them down or anything, but it made it look like water. And I was like, golly, that by itself was probably
How they transport them things
$400.
without falling apart?
I guess in vans. I have no idea. And they probably disassemble a little piece of them. Put them back together.
That's crazy.
But I mean, there was, they had built, spaceships and, some based on realistic and some.
Well, welcome into the Hey Techie Show. We're so glad you are here with us. And if you'd like to be on the show later when we take phone calls, 256-782.
5600.
And you certainly can. Also, our website, which Guru and I have had to try to keep out of trouble, is heytechieshow.com.
No, it was just so popular.
I don't, yeah.
Our fans are bringing the server to its knees.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, in tech headlines today, apparently there is an app for that. The Pontiff, Pope Francis, unveiled an app on Sunday in which 1.3 billion professing Catholics, with one click, can pass along an electronic verification that they too are praying for what he is praying for. With a tablet, he demoed the Click to Pray app during his weekly address in St. Peter's Square, where on completion, he looked and asked an aide, "Did I do it?" The app is available in 6 languages. More info can be found at clicktopray.org. And all of you folks that love your finger and face, to unlock your device, here's a story for you. Fingers, face, pins, all the same. Fingers and face logins are protected the same as pins in California, a judge ruled. Previous rulings allowed authorities to force logins with fingers and face IDs, but with this ruling, the judge said technology is outpacing the law and that fingerprints and face scans were not the same as physical evidence. But experts still say a pin is still the best option to refute phone searches.
Verizon, is charging you spam fee, and it's also affecting a popular app, the Remind texting service, a free service used by teachers, parents, and students. They stopped working on the Verizon wireless network. There's a dispute over texting fees that Verizon has demanded from the company that operates the service. Verizon says that the fee must be charged to fund spam blocking services. A statement from Remind says, in part, your Remind messages aren't spam, but that hasn't helped resolve the issue with Verizon. The fee will increase our cost of supporting text messaging to at least 11 times our current cost, forcing us to end the free Remind text messaging for more than 7 million students, parents, and educators who have Verizon Wireless as their carrier. And a study here done recently by the Goodyear Auto Service and Just Tires says that young drivers are more familiar with popular emojis than the tire pressure monitoring system, this TPMS warning symbol on their car's dashboard. According to the study, 86% of millennials and Gen Zers surveyed correctly identified the eye roll emoji, while 51% recognized the TPMS warning symbol.
I think it was 2 weekends ago. This person was not a millennial, and I don't think they recognized it in their car because the person I was riding with, I said, hey, watch out for that car. Their tire's going to explode any moment. Within 3 miles, their tire exploded because it was riding on that low.
Wow. Good gracious.
And they asked, they were like, well, how old was that car? I said, it was new enough for that to be required in that vehicle. I said, so they knew they were riding with that, endangering everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the only problem I have with that little deal there is some cars that's malfunctioning, and no matter how good you try to keep the air up,
it's a warning light. Doesn't this? It could mean your tires are low, but it could also mean there's something wrong with the sensor. Like I have a vehicle that's. They say that I talked to a friend of mine that's a mechanic, and he says the sensors that's on the actual tire, the battery in those last about 10 years. And like when the vehicle's not in motion, they'll turn off to save power. But you get an average life about 10 years out of that sensor's battery. And then when the battery fails, the only thing you can do is replace the sensor. And I've got
Can't replace the battery?
No. It's built into the sensor. You have to replace the whole sensor. It's just
It's a scam.
Okay. You said it. But I've got a vehicle that is well more than 10 years old, and that light just flashes. The TPMS light just flashes on there. And I took it to him, and he had like a little he has a little reader or something he put up to him. He said, yeah, they're not putting any signals. Like you don't have to replace them. It was like $600 to replace the 4 sensors and to reprogram them to the car. I said, I'll just check the tire pressure every once in a while. Just a little piece of gaff tape over that with that sensor.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they make the screw-on ones now that you go through Bluetooth.
Well, still
it don't interface with the car.
Sure, but I'm just saying.
It's not the same problem.
It's a warning light.
If you're too lazy to get out.
What I'm saying that TPMS light doesn't necessarily mean your tires are low. There's a warning light for that system.
Yeah. Well,
more often than not, it's probably your tire is low, which you need to check.
Yeah. Mine will be if the pressure I think is like 3 or 4 pounds off from the other tires.
Okay.
It'll do that.
Mine on my other vehicle is fairly new. It went off the other morning, but it was because it's getting cold, and I had to just put a little air in them, and they were good to go.
Well, when we come back, we will dive into our stories for sure, and all our segments coming up. The Hey Techies Show kicks off episode 156. We'll be right back.
I think I told you this, Bruce, the other week. After Mother decides you want to go on that Cuba cruise, we book it. And then, like, a day or so after that, like, she's talking to her brother on the phone, and he's like, hey, I'm taking Connor, that's his son, to,
the skills you can
he wants to go to the Bahamas. I'm thinking about taking him on a cruise. Y'all want to go with us? And Mother says something like, you want to go Kevin on this cruise? Like, yeah. Mother told me to start looking at some options and processes, you know. God's mom said, you still want to go to Cuba? Is this with the grandchildren? Of course, grandmother will go with the grandchildren. You know, no, I said, I'm going to Cuba. Well, this is going to be an addition, too. So we booked the Cuba cruise in May, and then we're going on a 3-day in June to the Bahamas. On the same ship, though. I'll be on a ship, like, get on it in May, and then, like, a month later, we're back on it. We got a good price on the Bahamas one. Had a balcony cabin. This ship has the open bar, so it's all the alcohol included, all the sodas are included. Like $600 per station. I thought that's pretty good for a balcony.
The 375
inside rooms
that make up the 3 major Canadian national forests were purchased by the federal government in 1936 as part of an effort to restore clear-cut timberlands and farmlands no longer capable of producing crops.
What was that from?
Includes the 102-mile
an ad or something. Work.
Second highest points, Mount Cheaha and Younger Mountains.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission. When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child
it's a good child
practicing the
playing
skills of art.
That was my
The skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered In first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov
lifetime
or just Google pre-K
hate
in
of
Alabama.
school.
Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early
Yeah.
Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
God, I freaking hate both of them. This is such a catchy song.
What are you talking about?
Pitbull and Kesha.
Oh, wow.
I can't stand either. Well, I used to not be able to stand Kesha. After what happened to her, she's really changed.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
But God, this song is catchy.
It is catchy.
Y'all just like to do news.
Timba. Song's so catchy.
It's got a catchy tune for sure.
Mhm.
And Michael, all his eyes are rolling.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever.
You guys are
each
just-
their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's so catchy.
Well, Guru, what about this headline? What about this headline, Guru? Hotel fires half its robot staff for sucking at their job.
Those poor
Robot
robots.
Yeah.
Is this that hotel that's got like the robot that'll take your baggage to your baggage?
Well,
room?
supposedly
Room service? I've heard about this.
the hotel is in Japan. Hina Hotel. And this is a CNET.com article written by Bonnie Burton. And later down in the article, Bonnie writes, firing half of the hotel robots might seem harsh.
Those poor robots.
I mean, how are those robot children going to survive? I mean, really, Bonnie. I agree. It's harsh to fire robots. But at the end of the day, a hotel needs to focus on the comfort of its guests more than the gimmick of robot employees. Seriously? They're robots. They have no feelings. I mean, have you ever, I got a question for you guys. Have you ever looked at your phone and said, I don't know if I can get rid of that thing the next time it comes around? I'm kind of attached. I mean,
While Bruce is holding his phone in his hand.
It still has a job it can do.
I mean, seriously. Now, I don't know. I mean, I don't see how you can look at these robots as humans or humanoid. I'm sure that's what it's coming to eventually. One guest complained, Guru, listen to this. One guest complained that the virtual assistant robot Churi, now I wonder how they came up with that name, Churi. It sounds very much like another one we know, Siri.
Yeah.
Said Churi, placed in every hotel room, kept waking him up saying, sorry, I couldn't catch that. Could you please repeat your request?
So it's listening to everything out negative.
Yeah. It's,
No
they
different
say,
than phone or-
they say,
I
because,
have the Hey Siri turned off on my device. So.
they say
It's probably
because,
still listening.
they say because the guests
Probably
were
still
snoring that it kept waking up answering. They also says that,
And this is in the hotel room.
yes, they
It's like
also,
built into the room.
yes, but now, by the way,
What hotel is this? Make sure I'll stay there.
yeah, in Japan,
Oh,
Well, they fired half of them.
so they fired half of them, but they had already taken out the Churis out of the hotel
the
rooms.
churros, not churros.
Churi. I like Churi. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Other guests complained on TripAdvisor that Churi would interrupt their conversations. Eventually, all Churis, as I told you, were removed from the room. Also, get this. Along with these other robots, did you know that they had humanoid, they say, concierge robots and animatronic dinosaur check-in robots? Seriously. Would you want to go to the hotel and ask a animatronic dinosaur Where this is, I mean,
maybe.
Where's Jurassic Park?
well, that's what it looks like.
Can you please point me in the direction of Jurassic Park?
Yes. Said that these
Coast to coast,
it says that the reason they got rid of these, that robots couldn't answer basic questions without human help. So basically, they were useless. So the point of this is, look, if your folks, anybody's worried about AI or robots taking your job, you're safe from that. I think we're going to make it. You're okay. It probably won't happen anytime soon. You can stand down. The robot revolution is not really started yet, at least in the hotel industry. If you're in the hotel industry, service industry, you're probably okay.
You know,
I am, and don't call me Shirley.
so this really begs the question of, do we need all like, there doesn't need to be a robot for every purpose.
This is the point. I think this is part of the point of the article.
And
Totally agree.
I mean, it's just like whenever I check in now, if I don't want to deal with somebody at the front desk, I just did digital check-in with digital key. I
Right.
can go straight to my room.
I do enjoy that. I used that one time this summer. I just want to get my room.
And Dylan stopped by,
especially-
grab my water,
especially
snacks.
Well, especially I went by as I was coming in the hotel,
Yeah.
and the front desk was just lined up. This was a hotel near an airport, so it was like a crew
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
people that were flying with airlines. It was pilots and the flight attendants.
Yeah.
I mean, and I understand they have to rest too. I said, I don't have to deal with this. I just went straight to my room. It tells you what room number, digital key, unlocked the door. I went in. I was good. I didn't interact with a single person that whole visit that hotel.
Yeah, and sometimes
that's
sometimes
nice.
that's nice. It really is, because I don't care if you're gonna upgrade me. I really don't care. I'm only gonna be here night.
Yeah.
Now if I'm somewhere for a long time, yeah, I may go up and
Well, yeah. There's just times like the other day, pizza joint here locally. You can order online, and when it's ready, it'll tell you it's ready.
Yeah.
And you go into the store, and they have this thing where you just put in a code, and the door opens, your order is, and you take that and leave. You don't have to worry about waiting in line or anything
Yeah.
like that. You just walk up to it. It gives you a code that you put in. You put the code in, I can read the code.
it's a 3-digit code.
Yeah, or there's a QR code you can scan. But you put that code in.
Boop, boop, boop. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm getting a free pizza.
You put your code in, and I got my pizza. And
That's
to the
mine.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my code.
What we got today?
111. That was my code.
357.
There's
Yeah.
never been 3 repeating numbers, so there's probably
So
exclude
wow, you can really break it down even further. Where's like, how was the odd and even number distribution?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's still showing up in this app. We may have to put it on.
252.
Oh, so it gives you a code. You can't choose a code.
No, it gives you a code.
Oh, well, that's so random.
But it's
Near
3 digits.
Yeah, but I'm not saying you couldn't guess it. It'd be a,
Well, if I got up there, my pizza went there, hey, where's my
yeah. I just have to cook you another one.
pizza? I mean, it's not like
I
it's
have
a-
actually.
it's not like it's a MacBook in there or anything like that.
I know the place you're talking about, and I've wondered how that thing works. I've
Well, that's good. I mean,
You know, the only problem I have with that place,
what?
they don't cook my pizza long enough.
You can tell them to throw it through.
Yeah, I really should. The crust is not crisp enough.
Oh,
It's just too.
the one I had.
It's
The
not.
one I had yesterday was.
It's not. No. It's a thing with me.
Oh.
It's not. They're not doing anything wrong.
You can probably put in a special instruction like, please cook the.
That's what my wife
Pizza.
said.
Send it through 1.5 times.
Yeah.
They'll do that.
They probably would.
They're
As I said, it's not really a fault with them.
I think there's places you can add technology, whether it's automation or whatnot, to help. But you can't completely remove the human
Yeah,
factor from everything.
Kind of like at Sam's.
Oh gosh.
And I can check out without ever having to go through a checkout line.
You still have to stop at the
Still
person
got to
door.
stop and show the person a QR code at the door.
It's like it's Fort Knox going out of the Sam's
It's
Club.
ridiculous.
I get tired of that at Sam's Club shop anymore.
No shoppy at Sam's.
I can
I
kind
haven't
of
never shipped in years. I
can kind of understand it though, because You got people that are gonna. I mean, you don't bag anything, so they can just. As
Yeah,
long as they
I
have the
understand
money,
from
they
an
let them
inventory
grab it.
control perspective, but you get to the checkout line, you're ready to go. You're ready to geo to my car and get out of there. And you got to stop and wait. Sometimes there's a line.
Yeah,
I'll have one person.
and they're actually counting everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you have 57 items.
and I don't blame the person at the door. They're doing the job they've been asked to do.
But then other times they're just like, "Sloop, smiley face, good to go." It's like you didn't even look at my receipt. That receipt was 4 days old. I handed you the wrong one. Just see.
Well, I'm going to jump from that to this. Bruce, did you see this? Tesla hiked supercharger prices worldwide to reflect changing costs.
I did.
Electricity rates and frequent usage played roles, this article says. What I find interesting and what will probably spark an argument between me and Bruce is this one quote here. Oh, no, we haven't. It's not true. Let's see.
I think we do know it.
Sure we do.
No.
Yes. Let's see if I Oh, here we go. In a statement, Tesla said it was increasing prices to better reflect differences in local electricity costs and site usage. It added that it was still launching new supercharger stations on a weekly basis and stressed that it didn't treat its EV chargers as a profit center. You heard it here first. Tesla will dry up and go away eventually. It will be only for a short time. If they were serious, hold on. If this company wanted to last, it would really be serious about finding ways to be profitable and finding profits. And this is definitely one way to do it. They could find profitability in this, and they should look at all avenues of profits if they're serious. But I know you're going to disagree, and it's fine. But I'm just saying that in my view, I believe that there have been other companies go this same way. Microsoft is an example in many ways of things that they never found a profit for, and it went away. And it had to go away because they couldn't afford to keep doing it. And if this company really wants to do this and they really believe in their vision, they need to make it profitable, and it will succeed. But if it won't, it's not going. It won't be able to continue long term. It will not be an Apple. It will. Apple found a way to exceed everybody's expectations of them from a certain period in history where they were not doing well. They found a way to market it themselves, reinvent themselves, make themselves useful again and needed in the markets. And while that may be true to an extent with Tesla, that this bothers me because they don't look at their business at making a profit in this way. And I think that's not a good, I think it's not a good omen. Now, I could be viewed as wrong, it's fine. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just looking at this from the aspect of historical perspective of watching companies fail at not being profitable. And
so especially in the tech world, there are many companies that give away a product for free in order for you to buy into the other product.
But very few of those are successful at it.
I disagree. Meraki, which was later bought by Cisco, they did their MDM. They gave it away for free, and there's a lot of, they give away a great, what would you would think it's like, well, I could charge for this, but it's also,
but they were bought by somebody else. You can't.
Yeah, for billions of dollars.
Yeah, but they're done.
So mission accomplished.
I'm just going to tell you, if the company that Tesla is right now is bought by somebody else, it'll be a car industry company, and Tesla will be gone. The name Tesla will be gone.
But I think you don't understand what Elon's mission is. His mission isn't to be an Apple.
Yeah, but see, I think that's a mistake. That will not sustain
I
Tesla.
agree with you. I totally agree with you on that portion.
Okay, well, that's fair.
But his goal is to bring change, which he has. He has totally shaken the auto industry. He is trying to.
Yeah, but I get that. That I do get, but I just don't. I mean, I think if there was some understanding of how, well, I don't want to say that because that would be presumptuous of me because I don't know Elon Musk. My point is,
I'm just going based on what he has said.
I got
in
it.
interviews.
Well, yeah, he says a lot in interviews.
Yeah, he does.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that is wrong. I know that is correct. What I'm saying is I just don't know if, while that is definitely a legacy that one might want or desire, I'm not sure that that's a legacy that's going to continue the Tesla name in making a product. And, I don't know when this is. I mean, personally, with the way things are being predicted, I think this could happen within 2 billion years. I mean, there's 2 billion years that Tesla won't be in 2 billion.
I'm sure.
Yeah, 2 billion years. The Hey Techies show will be #1. I mean, it's easy to predict. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, one star system will run into another star system in like 2 billion years. So
I think that's feasible.
I'll leave it at that. I'll predict it that way. No, but seriously, I don't know. I read this article and that hit me as odd because I understand the change part, but I still think that you can be an industry that creates change and be profitable. I don't agree with that.
Well, I think part of it too is it may be, it's not going to be an immediate bait switch. So it's not like we're totally swapping this out just so we can pull.
I understand the concept, but here's the thing. If this were more marketable and more profitable, you wouldn't have problems putting up these charging stations.
I don't think they're having problems.
Well, sure they are. They're not everywhere. They're not as many as a gas station.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on.
They're not the only ones in the game.
No, they're not everywhere. They're not at every 10 miles in a city.
But look at the number of vehicles compared to those that are not electric.
Yeah, I would say the ratio is probably.
Well, I get that. I'm not saying.
As of December 2018, you have 1,375 supercharger stations operating globally.
Yeah, and most of those are.
That's just Tesla. That's not including other companies.
Yeah, that's just theirs with 11,414 actual superchargers.
Yeah. Well, I understand.
It only works with Tesla vehicles. It's a proprietary charging system, so you can't just take any electric vehicle and pull up to.
Well, there you go. There's the process right there.
What were you saying?
Just make it proprietary.
Yeah, Tesla's are.
Yeah.
I know. I actually didn't know that.
There's a reason for that because whenever you use Tesla, you have to use the Tesla app because that's how you charge.
Right. Exactly.
Your card, if it's you're not part of the free supercharging or whatever, you're not one of those vehicles. They do have a different connector. Granted, their cars come with adapters to go to all the other ones.
Right.
Where was it on this one?
I don't know.
But yeah, there are proprietary. Oh, another thing with the app, it will also tell you which stations are free. So I mean, all theirs are networked. So it'll tell you they're free. This is how fast they charge. This is how fast it should take you to charge.
Free.
This.
Free to the consumer?
What's free?
You said which ones are free.
No, available.
Available.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I should have said it.
No, I'm just trying to
That is a
understand.
very good point. Especially considering what we're talking about. Oh, that one's free. I don't want that one.
I don't want that one that's free. Well, I was just curious.
Which one's available
Got
to
it.
be used?
Occupied.
Yeah, and not occupied. Vacant.
Vacant. Sorry. I'm just curious.
You know what would be a good job for that dinosaur?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
You're now a thesaurus.
Thesaurus.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean they've got some really neat things with their app, and while you're driving too, it'll even tell you like if you keep driving at 100 miles an hour, you're not gonna make it. So hey, slow down the speed limit. But it'll map out your whole trip. It'll tell you how long it'll take. So I mean, it is really neat.
Oh, the technology's amazing. I have said that on the show before. Look, I'm just a person that would like to see them continue. I'm not necessarily a person that want to partake.
You have to admit what Tesla's doing. They're interrupting the auto industry.
Yeah, but
I mean, they are, whether you like that or not. They are, and that's one thing. I mean, he's not trying to deliberately hurt other companies. He's just trying to revolution. It's not what do you call it? Revolution, more of a revolution in how we use vehicles, and more like their power source.
We talked about this on the show several times. I do like Tesla. I do like Tesla cars. I do like the idea of electric cars. Not just the idea. I like electric cars. The only thing is that what Tesla is pushing for is autonomous driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
There are definitely benefits to that, and there's definitely negative sides to that. And I can't decide which side I'm on.
Yeah, we talked about that several times on the show.
Then from there, if you have autonomous driving, not anonymous, autonomous.
Got it.
Then the vehicle ownership becomes less and less of a thing. Like
a lot of things become less and less of a thing.
You share that resource, and
I don't know if.
I mean, Uber and Lyft are doing that to a certain degree.
I would like to have a crystal ball and say, well, yeah, it's all going to work out, or just no, we should turn around now. I mean, it's
just use my theory. Whatever you do, predict in a crazy time frame, like 2 billion years from now, and you'll always be right. I mean, nobody will know. No one can dispute you.
Yeah.
You can just
2 billion years will regret that.
Correct. Yeah, you can just go with anything. I mean, what's it matter? It's a perfect way scientists do it all the time. Yeah. So they're off a billion years. Who will know?
Some of that they do.
Who's gonna know?
That's true.
Whether they're right or wrong?
Well, I mean, they can check them out.
Nobody can prove it. No, I don't know why it's so hard for me to make this point.
When we say all this about Tesla, they promised with the Model 3 this $35,000 electric car. They have yet to have delivered a Model 3 that costs $35,000.
Sure.
Yeah, they'll do it.
Just saying. If you pre-ordered one of those models, you're still waiting, and have been waiting for quite some time.
As I said, I could be totally wrong, and Tesla could still be here when I croak, but I don't know when that is. It'll be before 2 billion years. I promise you that. But I'm not. I would like to see them continue, and I've said it before. I think it's a very amazing product. I've watched several videos on the actual car. I'm not crazy about it per se myself. It isn't my driving product that I would use. However, there are people that do like it, and they think they want to go that route. The only negative thing, I guess the big negative for me is, and I've said this before, I just don't see how our power grid would sustain a majority of people transportation that way. I just don't. I think you could do it. I don't see how you could switch resources from fuel, gasoline, all over to electricity.
If you charge them at your house, you charge them in the overnight hours when there's less demand on the electric grid.
I still don't think. I'm no grid expert, obviously, but I still think that we're years off from being able to. Your
distribution would change. You would see more microgrids.
Okay.
But real quick, because I think this is interesting. These are all estimates, of course, but as of December 2018, there was a little over 20,000 electric charging stations in the U.S. And gas stations, there's around 115,000.
Okay.
So think about that. 20,000 to 115,000.
Yeah, 115,000. Yeah.
It's a pretty good percentage, I would say.
We'll see.
We'll see.
That's what I'm saying.
If you ordered a Model 3 today, base model, you apparently can get it this month. So.
Oh, no, you could get it within like 2 weeks.
From what I've heard though, you can't,
The base model, you could get it within 2 weeks.
because 44,000 with 44 without savings. I guess that's the tax credit that's about to start.
It would be, hold on, I can tell you.
Anyway, just observation there. But they've
It'd be
but that's
about-
only
it'd be
200 some
about-
mile range.
It'd be about, it's like 243 miles.
Yeah, see, that's another thing they got to work on is that longevity.
That's plenty.
No,
You could drive,
I want an equivalency of the car I'm driving right now. I can go 400 miles between refueling. Let's put it that way. Whether you charge a battery or you put gasoline in it.
you could probably get 400 miles, depending upon how you drove it.
They've got them pushed for half of them.
No.
It's not. I think the technology is not quite there. If you're an early adopter, I mean, it's an option. It's still a little. They got to get the price. They got to work on the price and the longevity. And
Well,
that's
And that's the thing too. You got to keep in mind. This is a luxury vehicle. It's not a.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
You have to compare it to another luxury car.
It's not your
I agree with that.
mainstream brand. And actually, according to Wikipedia, in November, December, Tesla sold more vehicles in the U.S. than BMW.
Yep.
You know, again, luxury brand.
The Model 3 is the fastest selling luxury.
And people who are in the market for those brands, whether it's BMW or Mercedes or Lexus or Acura or whatever, those luxury top tier brands, it's in their price range already.
Now,
Oh yeah.
now here's the
For somebody
here's
who's
the-
not, it's like, ooh, I want to pay $40,000 for a car. It's a lot of money.
right before we go to break. Here's the thing, to me though, is resale value. Cars have been sold used since there's been a
Yeah.
car,
Yeah,
and I'm curious to know what type of resale value
it's a good question.
will these cars have on the market.
So there is, before we go to break, done a little bit of research on that. Tesla's used inventory is totally different and works totally differently than what
I
you would
figured that.
think your traditional car dealership would do. They started doing the certified pre-owned Teslas, and then they've dropped that and just gone to used. So they pay a third party to do all the auctioneer
It's like an
for them.
auctioneer car.
But you can get some relatively inexpensive. The resale values are pretty good. It all just depends.
So it can't be worse than, I mean, anybody can get a car that they can't get rid of. Or rather they don't get jacked from.
But there's definitely some nightmare stories on their used inventory.
Yeah.
But
And-
Tesla tries to
and
make
that-
it right.
There's plenty of nightmare stories on the other side. So that's,
Yeah.
you know,
And, but
I'm sure
and
it's
that's
not
true
hard.
just for the auto industry.
That's what I said, in general. Lemons, all the stories. You can imagine. Well, when we come back, we'll move right along, hopefully. But you can still call us, 256-782,
5600.
and you can be on the Hey Techie Show. Be right back.
So one thing I was going to tell you during the last break, when
Yeah.
I had sent that to Guru, and he said, I was like, I can be here out of line. He said, I can go ahead and get out. I was like, call it. But no, so there's actually a guy that did a video. He bought I think a Model X for like 30 grand or something like that. And he said a lot of these that you'll see come out of like New Jersey and New York. And, the roads up there are kind of rough. You get salt, wear and tear.
Yeah.
But there's this auctioneer company that handles all of the Tesla stuff up there. Of course, they do other stuff too. But it was just unprofessional, disorganized. And he's like, he got a Tesla executive flew out to make sure that stuff was done right. He was like, your car's not fixed. Take this vehicle until we get, I'm going to be here until we get. He said, no, that's probably somebody else's that they're waiting on. He was like, this is a first world problem. I don't have to have this car. He said, I will wait for mine. Like, I don't want to take somebody else's.
Yeah.
But, he also brought up the fact too that, he's like, some of these service professionals, he's like, they don't need your car qualifications. Like, have you graduated high school? You're good. Like, not years of experience in retail or in car business or anything like that. And
Just like working in a local restaurant here in Jackson.
pretty much.
If you're breathing and you're gonna pulse,
Yeah. So, you know, it's their used inventory. It's not necessarily something you want to go, especially for New York and New Jersey. He said like they recondition all the vehicles.
And this station, this is an
Um,
Alabama legacy moment.
So,
In the late 1960s, NASCAR.
but it was funny too. His mom
was hunting for a location for a new racetrack.
was like, you because you could tell she had like a Jamaican accent. She's like, you want me to call him? I'm talking about Elon. He's like, I'm calling him and tell him to fix this.
NASCAR National Champion, four-time winner here at Talladega Superspeedway as it was renamed in 1989. With 33-degree.
Your son was a better driver.
2.66 miles of asphalt. It's the fastest racetrack.
Yeah, I need to hurry and get new
Except the existing
new cables and connectors.
here in
Maybe I'll have them for
Every
next week.
driver that's on Talladega has had a wild ride or two.
Huh?
My final one here was over Dale.
All I gotta do is order an Amazon. But I'm waiting for my new USA card to come in. Because Best Buy screwed up.
Sponsored by the Alabama
They still have $205 of my money.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
What? Microsoft to hold HoloLens 2 precedent next month? How did I miss this? What's
Apparently, we're ready to go
where are we going?
somewhere. I tell you where
Get
I'm.
wings?
No, we're not gonna.
can, but
You can get wings right after the show.
No, me too.
Sure you can. I wonder when. Speaking of wings, there's going to be a revamped
Of the show wings?
show wings.
Remember the show wings?
Oh no, you got that's a good one. You caught me on that. I'm talking about a local restaurant here. That sells wings.
yeah.
Sells wings.
When they open it back
Hoop
up?
DeVille, I don't know.
they're getting close. They gotta do sign up the road.
Yeah. And I've got a rumor.
Uh,
So I thought I'd go ahead and start
Sure.
it now.
We have a thing called the rumor segment.
No, that's okay.
I know you're trying to.
how unprofessional.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I had to do the show notes, and because I couldn't get them written down during the show, I went back and I listened through the whole thing, and I started laughing. Guru, you couldn't have done a better job. Yeah, you were on it. You were on it. You were playing that on it, man. It was so funny. Bruce couldn't talk for laughing about it. But seriously, though, this doesn't have anything to technology, so this doesn't fit in there. But there is a rumor that in Jacksonville, between
Oh yes, I've heard. this.
Jack's,
Yep.
and Cookout,
Yeah.
they're going to plop down a freestanding Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Have
And
you
something else.
seen in that parking lot the drill holes where they tested the? There's I can see it. There's
They're testing the ground or
yeah.
something. to see.
There's definitely something going to go on right there. There's yeah.
You might as well get that. If you're trying to not go to Chick-fil-A, if you're coming north,
But look,
you better
yeah.
get in the left lane because that
Yeah.
But,
it'll be a
but I want you to
parking
think
lot
about
getting to that
listen. Think about it. Now, not at breakfast. Well, at breakfast. Hold on.
all day.
I know, but think about this:
Okay.
Jack's, Chick-fil-A, Cookout.
But
I mean, that right lane will say turn only. I mean, it might as well. For that, you can't turn it. You can't
Just have dashes.
Yeah, this is a turn only lane for the next, I don't know, 300 feet, whatever it is.
for real.
Next quarter mile.
Yeah.
Because all three are the two that are currently there are very popular.
Oh yeah. Well, one in the morning.
Yeah,
Jack's
yeah,
in the morning.
Yeah. You just plop down at Chick-fil-A, it's like left lane.
And then lunch, for crying out loud, it would just be bang, bang, bang.
You know, not to get on Jacksonville restaurants.
Oh, here we go. Please
I
don't.
wouldn't mind Chick-fil-A, but we need something different.
I understand what you're saying. I got you. I mean, we did have somebody in the house. That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's
Yeah,
a terrible customer
Yes, I
service.
know, but I mean,
Like the thing that was there before them. Great food,
Yeah.
terrible customer service.
Yeah.
Probably the thing that will go in there next will have great food, terrible customer service.
The restaurant industry is such a tough,
Oh, it is
tough business
tough.
to operate.
if we could just get robots, I mean, I think it would
I
be.
mean, the margins are so thin, at least restaurants, like the profit margin.
But the only problem with robots, if you guys fire them, you'll have to feel bad about it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's going to be the only problem.
Terrible shame.
Headline: Dutch surgeon. This is right down Bruce's alley right here. Dutch surgeon wins landmark right to be forgotten case. Did you see that, Bruce?
No, I didn't.
A Dutch surgeon, formally disciplined for her medical negligence, has won a legal action to remove Google search results about her case in a landmark right to be forgotten. Basically, this boils down to this. Apparently there was an incident, or maybe multiple ones, and she was put on a blacklist, which they claim was an unofficial blacklist. And the governing body that governs doctors says that she could continue to practice while the whole thing was under sort of a appeal process. Well, her problem is that when people put in her name, the first thing that popped up was this issue and that she was on a blacklist. So she has won a lawsuit that Google must take all of that off. Now, Google's complaint was, and also a Dutch privacy watchdog, said that the doctor should not be removed based on this because she's still under some kind of appeal process where it's questionable whether or not she should be on this list or not. So this is an interesting case because this is not what some of the individuals pushing this stuff were looking at for this. They were looking at average Joe individual who didn't want their data out there.
But this is more of a business.
Yeah, that I myself as a surgeon am being harmed by searches that I no longer want on Google.
Ooh, if I was a judge ruling this.
Well, he just has. I mean, I know what you're saying.
I'm putting myself in that. How would I rule? I would need a couple weeks to think this
The
over.
court further rejected Google's claim that most people would have difficulty in finding the relevant information on the medical board's big register where the records are publicly held.
Oh yeah, Google probably should have said that. It's like, look, we can just Google it. There it is.
Well, but they said it's harder.
Your search engine's great.
Yeah. They actually were saying that's harder to find through the medical board's big register. But I'm not with you. I'm not sure if that's a good argument.
Oh, man, this is tough because I mean, in a way, putting that information out there, you're protecting people that are gonna
suspected, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of like a right to know. If I would say,
well, that's basically what the Dutch data privacy watchdog was saying. I mean, basically, they should have a right to know as consumers.
Yeah, either that or I would say the medical licensing that if they need to enact something that says if you're currently undergoing this, you have to let your patients know.
Is this? Oh, we got a couple minutes here.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is, but, and I'm no legal beagle, so I admit that. So I'm not even really, I mean, I know we're looking at that aspect, but there's a lot I wouldn't know here. However,
Especially in Dutch law.
yeah, that's another thing. We're talking about a whole other country, but we have talked about that lately. What those type rulings are having an effect on businesses over here,
Oh, yeah.
and going to the lowest denominator. These companies over here are changing their laws so that they're changing their policy so they'll line up with the lowest or largest denominator in other countries, whatever, so that they won't get dinged. Okay, so having said that, pardon me, what does this mean for Google in that how difficult is this to do, to really purge searches like this? I mean, would you have to make a special excuse for this person?
I could almost see this being abused like the YouTube copyright algorithm is being abused.
Yeah.
I mean, there's case after case after case where these, large film companies are, basically, this is cutting into people's monetization of their own products that those huge companies are getting. It's like, you own no right to this, Warner Brothers. I'm just picking on them. I'm not saying that they've done it. I'm sure they have though. But that this is a person that's created this content on their own, and they just, it's kind of like patent troll.
Yeah.
But YouTube's just like, well, this big company says that you're infringing on, their copyright. So, we're pulling this down, and, it may, they may hand review it, but during that weeks that they're reviewing it, you've lost out.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see the same thing if you try to automate this, and you could do it against your competition.
So the lawyer's argument, the disciplinary committee is not meant to be about punishment. It's meant to be correcting the doctor's mistakes so they can do the job the next time.
And I mean, I could understand that. That's the thing, people forget that doctors are human.
Yeah. So there's a lot here.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was fun to bring it up on the show because I find these things fascinating. Well, our dose is up next, and the giver will have all the news that's fit to hear when we turn the mic.
Long, so stick around for our
Now, what now? I'm gonna have to.
When we turn our microphones off.
Yeah, turn my mouth off.
I don't know, man. That's tough.
Yeah, I thought it
Live
was
from
fascinating.
NPR News in Washington.
If I say it's got to
Congress is
stay.
back in session tomorrow. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he will call for a vote this week on President Trump's proposal to grant temporary protections for some unauthorized immigrants in exchange for border wall funding. It's not clear the measure will have enough votes to pass. Democrats want the government to fully reopen first before negotiating border security, and some Republicans oppose it because they consider an amnesty for people who are in the country illegally. California Democrat Kamala Harris has announced her candidacy for president, and here's Windsor Johnston reports the first-term senator joins a growing field of Democratic hopefuls vying for the 2020 presidential bid.
Harris made the announcement on ABC's Good Morning America. I am running for president of the United States. I'm
One
very
of
excited
50
about it. Harris, who
Democrats
served
are
as
gonna
district
run.
attorney of San Francisco and attorney
That's
general
what
of
primaries for.
California,
That's right,
spoke
that's
about
it.
the challenges of
Hey,
running a
you'll
campaign
run,
and
you'll
run.
attempted
Risk
to
on
several barriers.
Yeah.
The American public wants a fighter.
Run
They want
away.
someone that's going to fight like
Well,
hell
That's running for office.
and not
Run away
fight
from
based on self-interest. And I'm prepared to do that. Harris is expected to officially launch her campaign during a rally
I
next
just want somebody
weekend
with
in
some
Oakland,
integrity.
California. Windsor Johnston, NPR News.
Americans
Just
are
terrible.
remembering slain civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
today.
This whole shutdown thing is making me sick of everybody in general.
Which
Both
calls
sides
to
are bugging
action
in
and
and-
messages for unity.
Well, if you go back
Remember
to
WABE in
to
Atlanta,
pre-President
Senator
Trump's
Lugo
tweets,
has more.
In remarks
his
at the
own
service,
words,
Dr.
it's the
King's
president's
daughter,
fault he
Martin
should be
King,
fired.
declared the partial government shutdown and the resurgence of white
Impeached.
supremacy messaging.
That's what Trump said.
humanitarian crisis and
I'm just tired of the shutdown going on.
People
People are missing paychecks.
And it's not just federal people, it's people that are on contracts.
Yeah, that money's gone.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee they'll get paid.
Among the guests was
That's terrible.
Republican Senator.
The ones that will get paid are the ones that are for sure the ones that are
The
working,
federal.
the federal employees that are working during this shutdown, they'll get paid eventually. Now, the ones furloughed, they'd have to pass legislation to pay them, but then the contract's like third group. There's a lot of folks there that just don't have money that's laying around that can just dip into savings to.
That's okay, because nobody's gonna have to get tax money back.
$7 billion. It says it's a lack of transparency, inadequate
I wish Jay, would hurry up.
Regarding personalized ads.
Of course,
for
I'm still waiting on the
users.
SEC, but I already got one for Southern.
Tech giant
My W-2.
They just put in, Friday has put in patches to the banner, and then some of this for tax stuff. They wouldn't test the crap.
They didn't?
They finally tested it.
I was like, crap.
I mean, they said they tested it, but it took them till Friday when it got put in.
My taxes are gonna be wrong.
They always do.
IRS is gonna be like, hey, you owe
They
us.
wait till the last minute. And they hadn't done 1098s yet. They do those first.
That's a big batch too.
Oh, yes, that's everybody who attended. That's 15, 16,000 at least.
But how long does that take?
It's a part of a day to print them.
Yeah, but how long does it take for the batch?
I don't know. I don't know how that, I don't know what the process is.
An hour? What?
What?
Speakers cracking.
We ready?
Yeah.
Welcome
Going back into
into
the Hey Techies.
our dose of the Hey Techie Show.
Oh,
That's professional, I
yes,
know.
it is.
Bruce, he's professional.
Always.
Yeah.
We're all professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not professional on the
That's
radio.
how we roll.
This is not our day job.
Pardon me. Welcome into the hour dose of the Hey Techie Show. And if you'd like to be a caller on the show, 256-782,
5600.
and you can be on the Hey Techie Show, or questions at heytechieshow.com.
Yeah, I guess I need to pull up the email for that. I'm going to monitors.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Pardon me. Hello. Tickling off.
We also had a tweeter
Well, he wouldn't know anything
and something
about
else. Some other set of social media that I don't.
that. Fingers, face,
Bruce is the social media expert of the bunch.
That's right.
He thinks, he tries to say he's not, but he's the expert.
our tech headlines for this evening. Fingers, face, and pins, all the same. Fingers and face logins are now protected the same as pins, a California judge has ruled. Previous rulings allowed authorities to force logins with fingers and face IDs, but with this ruling, the judge said technology is outpacing the law and that fingerprints and face scans were not the same as physical evidence. But experts say a pin is still the best option to refute phone searches. Apparently, there is an app for that. The Pontiff Pope Francis unveiled an app on Sunday in which the 1.3 billion professing Catholics, with one click, can pass along an electronic verification that they too are praying for what he is praying for. With a tablet, he demoed the Click to Pray app during his weekly address in St. Peter's Square, where on completion he looked to an aide and asked, "Did I do it?" The app is available in 6 languages. Good grief. The app is available in 6 languages. More info can be found at clicktopray.org.
So according to a recent study by Goodyear Auto Service and Just Tires, young drivers are more familiar with popular emojis than the tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS, warning symbol on the car's dashboard. According to the study, 88% of millennials and Gen Zers surveyed correctly identified the eye roll emoji, while 51% recognized the TPMS warning symbol. Also here, the Remind texting service, which is a free service used by students, teachers, and parents, may stop working on the Verizon wireless network. There's a dispute over the texting fees that Verizon has demanded from the company that operates the service. Verizon says the fee must be charged to fund spam blocking services. A statement from Remind says in part, quote, "Your Remind messages aren't spam, but that hasn't helped resolve the issue with Verizon. The fee will increase our cost of supporting text messaging to at least 11 times our current cost, forcing us to end free Remind text messaging for more than 7 million students, parents, and educators who have Verizon Wireless as their carrier. End quote. I want to talk more about that. That was in the headlines, by the way. I've heard of this Remind service. Have either of you heard
Oh,
of it?
yes.
I mean,
Had to use it.
I'm not a consumer of content from Remind, but I've heard about it. I have several friends and family members that are involved in Remind. And it's a great service. They do have, I think, a paid version. I think most educators use the free version because there's not a whole lot of spare money laying around in education, unfortunately. And
Not shut on that one.
what now?
No, but keep my opinion. That's up on that one.
Oh, okay.
Definitely needs to be money there.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other discussion. But
Yeah.
Especially when your child's dealing with extracurricular stuff, it's important. We're having band practice this day, or whatever. If you're a sports team,
Sure.
whatever. It's a stuff that you need to communicate with parents. So, we have these smart devices now, and I think that's great that Remind has a free option for educators, and that it makes it easy to disseminate information. But the fact that Verizon is basically they're saying, well, you got to pay us this fee, Remind, because it's almost like what you call it?
Verizon is anti-education. You heard it here first.
No. It's like you got to extortion. Like, you got to pay us this fee if you want to continue texting these people. They like a spam. I mean, Remind is not spamming folks. They're not sending like mass text messages to millions of people. I mean,
they are. They're just.
But it's in small batches. It's targeted content to a group of people who have opted in.
Yes.
That's different than spam.
How many, you may have already, you may know this already, but how many texts does Twilio send on Verizon's network in a year?
Who's
I have
Twilio?
no
What would
idea.
you get? Twilio is the actual platform that Remind uses
Okay.
to send the messages.
497 million
4.5 billion texts a year.
times.
Text a year. 4.5 billion texts. 1.6 billion text messages of those are Remind.
So
1.6 billion text messages are Remind.
out of, again,
4.5 billion
So-
of Twilio.
Now, are
25%,
these
right.
SMSs or in
It says text messages. I don't see that
Let's
breakdown.
assume it's SMS.
I don't see that breakdown.
140.
Which what I'm
Bytes.
saying is that's overhead. It's already there.
Okay,
It's not being utilized. It doesn't
So-
cost Verizon any.
But Verizon, as I said in the headline,
Now-
Verizon is saying they are having to charge this fee for anti-spam software.
I'm not defending Verizon just because defending Verizon. What I'm saying is
Verizon says the fee must be charged to fund spam blocking services.
we just can't, as a respectable radio show, offhandedly just assume that that's not true.
No, what's not true?
That they're not needing this for legitimate purposes. We can't just offhandedly say Verizon, oh, that's free. That'll cost Verizon anything to send 1.6 billion text messages.
No,
And
it doesn't.
In the grand
You
scheme
don't
of
know
things,
that.
It's
You
If
can't
it's
possibly know
if it's
that.
an SMS,
There's people they pay for all kinds of stuff.
to send the text.
No,
that is part of the package you already paid for.
I know. Okay,
Hold on.
you just said it. You just said it. That's part of the package we already pay for.
okay. Get this.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is SMS. I think it's the 8 bits that is overhead was unutilized. It's not part of the phone.
Yeah,
call.
I understand how it works.
Okay.
So Remind goes on to say in this article, we'll put the link to this Ars Technica article, that Remind, the cost for sending messages to Verizon customers for Remind will increase from a few $100,000 to several $1 million per year after the change. It's like I said, 11-fold. I mean, they're not, and they can't absorb that and still not charge for the service.
So basically what they're saying is if you want to use Remind, you got to go get on another network. You got to get rid of your
Well,
Verizon phone
there-
and you got to get with another network.
Yeah, there's a way, I think Remind, if it's not this article, I may have read it somewhere else. You can receive messages from Remind if you have their app and you opt in to like push notifications to the app.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way they can deliver the message to you through the app.
Then that means it's not SMS.
It's not as, I mean,
That's what they're
one,
saying.
that's one way of getting it. And then I'm not a user of Remind, so I can't speak from experience, but based on what I read about it, you apparently have a choice. You can do text or you can do this other way with the Remind app. Apparently. I wish I could find it in here. Let's see.
Oh, there's an update on this. Did you here? Let me read this.
Notifications sent via email or Remind's mobile apps will continue to work. It'd just be the text messages on Verizon network would stop. Starting January 28th. So here like next week. Or this.
An update on this article. Twillo's support article says that Twillo is switching to a new Verizon service that has been designed specifically for commercial long code messaging, and that Verizon is adding a termination surcharge of 0.0025 per mobile terminated SMS message. All providers, not just Twillo, are impacted equally by this fee that Verizon is instituting, Twillo wrote.
And I wonder if the other providers are given them a pass considering what they're doing with Remind. Considering, that majority of their users are education.
Yeah, I get it.
I think Remind is for education.
I didn't say I didn't get it.
But this article I'm reading from Ars Technica says the controversy cropped up shortly. This whole controversy cropped up shortly after a Federal Communications Commission decision that allowed U.S. carriers' text messaging services to remain largely unregulated. This is another quote from the Remind sent in a notice to users. To offer our text messaging service free of charge, Remind has always paid for each text that users receive or send. Now Verizon is charging Remind an additional fee intended for companies that send spam over its network. Then it goes on to the quote I read in the headline about, these messages are not spam. And they're not. I mean, you've opted in as a consumer of this. I want to receive these messages from my football coach or from my band teacher or whatever. It's not spam.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's just like when you do your Walmart grocery pickup and you say, when you check out, yes, I want to receive text message updates about my order. It's the same thing. I just
one of the problems I have with the whole thing is I would happen to be a party to one of these Remind groups, and some people just don't know how to use that stuff.
Also,
they reply to everybody. It's a pain.
Schools and districts are encouraged to pay for a more extensive Remind service that includes logging, management controls, and district-wide messaging, among other things. Remind said that only the free texting service will stop working. That's why this and that most of its 30 million users use the free plan.
Yeah.
Goes back to they're probably not funding around to do this, at the paid level. Your son or daughters,
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
I'm gonna use this and it'll cost me.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If there had never been a free version, do you think people would have used it? If there had been an economical paid version before it was free?
Well, the thing is, like, it goes back to there's not a whole lot of extra money lying around in public education.
Yeah, but now, see,
it goes back to there's just not money lying around with this stuff.
No, they would ask everybody to get on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll say this:
Point
businesses that the only place that they have is a Facebook page, that is dumb.
Well, yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't know how we got on that conversation, but yes, we went really quick.
It's your own business, and that's your only web.
I get it. Yeah,
that's dumb.
Yeah, I just don't agree with this. This is bad for education. It's bad for Remind. It's Verizon shame on you, Verizon. I'm gonna go ahead and call them out. I just don't agree with this. What from Verizon's standpoint. But you do. But the thing is, though, is you don't. If you have just text messaging on Verizon with the remind, go in and change your settings to where you can get email and through the app, and that'll continue to not cost anything to the person that set up the remind list. So that's the advantage. I mean, sometimes that's better because you're limited to how much characters you can send in text.
Traditional SMS.
Yeah. Traditional SMS, and with
That's what I said that.
doing in-app like push notification, there's a little more flexibility, and as a person, if I was subscribing to this for a child or something, my kids, I wouldn't have a problem just doing email or through the app. It wouldn't personally bother me.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a smartphone, I can see where the SMS is kind of really the only choice you have besides checking an email account, which you have to do on another device.
I know of that. I know they don't use this for everything, but the school my children attend, they have a call system that
that costs money.
Yeah, that calls and lets parents know it's a voice recording. It's almost like a robocall. And
they just type it in. That does the
and there's another church that I know of that has a very similar product that did that same thing too. It would call you. They have a daycare, and it would call you and remind you, hey, the school's going to be closed today, or we're gonna stick with the same 2-hour delay.
Right, and those things cost money, and
but like everything else does.
It goes back to there's not a lot of money just laying around in public education for stuff like this.
Well,
and that sparks a whole another debate about the funding for this type of. For funding in general, but funding for technology in education. We've talked about that before.
I get it, but I'm still going to sit here and say that I believe there's something we don't know. I think there's information we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a caveat, but that's just me.
I'm going to side with the educators. I'm sorry. I will.
I'm not siding with anybody.
I am.
That's got nothing to do with it.
I'm going to put a little editorial spin on this, and I don't agree with this.
Okay.
I feel bad for the Remind folks and for the people who use that service. But at least there is another option. You don't have to use text messaging if you're on Verizon. Well, you just change it off Verizon. I mean, that's your choice. As a consumer, that's your choice.
Or you could use 2 cans with the string in between them. I mean, if you want to,
I'm just saying, you have choices here. Everybody has choices. But
well, when we come back from break, we'll talk about more choices of something that you have. That's what the Hey Techies show. That's right.
Or
just
that other device.
That other device. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, we might discuss that too because Microsoft's been doing that. Hey, Techies show. Be right back. Uh-oh.
Tech show.
I was going to answer it. It was Sirius XM.
Oh.
Because, my credit card got.
This is an Alabama legacy.
Oh, yeah, right. And so are they saying you didn't pay?
It was not supposed to be set up on auto renew anyway.
The U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the
I
National
wonder
Park
how
Service.
it
The
shows
area's
that.
focal point
I
is
guess
the
it
Blue
does.
River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an
I wonder if there's a
outdoor recreation
transcript of that.
destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors
So I'm
to
like,
the area.
I had set it up to not auto renew. So the fact that y'all tried to charge it.
The skills of a future engineer.
Website working okay or not?
As far as I can tell, Chris, I appreciate that, buddy.
They hadn't answered my case back from last week.
They probably don't know.
The skills of the future illustrator, author, and artist.
Which I can understand
They
that.
should, though.
Classroom, children do all
Their
these
job
things
to know.
Discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
I had another story related to the Verizon.
Well, you hit it when you come back.
Band leader and composer during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s. His Erskine Hawkins Orchestra was a popular dance band in New York City, and with it,
Forest plans to produce an impressive 40,000 all-electric Techies cars per year. Who's gonna? How many people got that much money? Good Lord. Income inequality in this world. There's no trash can.
No.
Well, if it was there, I would have went in.
You wouldn't. Say it.
It's ridiculous. Good Lord.
He is good.
He is good. Just, man. They're gonna be able to sell 40,000 a year? That's insane. Figured those would be special order.
It's kind of long.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
That's how the whole industry's worked forever. Guru, what you got for us, man?
Yeah, I know I was a little critical with Verizon before the break.
No,
so
you have every right to be.
in
You
the,
do.
in the spirit of being fair and balanced and equal, and I
We
want
don't have to be that.
I'm sure AT&T will start charging the same.
Go ahead.
No, but this is a press release from Verizon that came out last week. So the headline, or the title, I guess, of this press release: Verizon robocallers, your days are numbered. Starting in March, Verizon's spam and robocalling features will be offered free to all Verizon customers.
Just everybody else is going to have to pay for it.
So whether you're
Mine's paid.
whether you're one of our wireline or wireless customers, Verizon has been on your side taking a stand against robo and spam callers. Now you're about to take it one step further by offering our third-party rated #1 spam robocalling protection features to our customers for free. More than a year ago, this is some more bullet points. More than a year ago, Verizon added call and spam screening at an additional charge to wireless customers subscribing to our call filter service. The service identifies spam callers and unknown numbers by name, shows an innovative risk meter that displays the level of spam risk associated with a call. If a call meets Verizon's spam criteria, the incoming call screen will display a spam label. Verizon also offers free alerts about potential spam calls to customers on a number of Android phones, and in March, we'll begin rolling out our free spam alerting and call blocking tools to all our customers whose smartphone supports these features. We'll talk about the wireline side as well, which we don't have wireline Verizon service around here. They're continuously updating the algorithm. Today, they've identified nearly 300 million numbers associated with spam and robocalling. So, but it goes on to more detail. But basically, this is a service they used to charge an additional fee for. But starting in March, it'll be available to all Verizon wireless and wireline customers at no additional charge. They help on the fight, because I get at least, there's some days I may get multiple robocalls. Usually I get at least one a day these days.
Five's been offering that spam filter for a long time.
Yeah.
I think as long as I've had a Five.
How does it,
Not all of us have
how does it
Five.
work? Do you know?
Well, it'll say suspected spam.
I get that already with Google.
But yeah, wait, what?
Yeah.
With Google?
Yes. With my Google phone.
Oh yeah.
It says suspected spam. I mean, I just say, it says, do you want to, my phone will turn red,
Yeah.
and I'll say I don't want to answer it, or what have you, or I just ignore it.
And
Not all of us have that type of
I'm not sure how
Well, I'm
long
very
they've been
sorry.
doing the call screening,
I have a
but
far superior
while we were
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Wait. You just told a joke. What was that again?
I'm serious.
A far superior? Is that what you said?
Yeah, far superior.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think I have a Windows phone or something?
Oh, don't.
I mean, what? I mean,
I'm sorry.
what is
I've never been impressed with any Android device I've had ever.
You have never had a Pixel.
yeah.
I'll stick with my iPhone.
No, you haven't.
I've used. I don't like the Android.
Well, no. See, you're an iOS guy.
I will say
you
that.
don't like the interface. If I had to be stuck with a Samsung, I would
Oh
kill
yeah,
myself.
I hate. But again, it's what we're used to.
That's what I said.
I mean, every time I use my wife's iPhone, don't know it. I think iPhones are good phones, but I'm like, this is stupid. I should be able to hit these three numbers because that's how I'm spelling out Michael's name, and it pull him up.
Well, I will say this. There's talk about
Because I don't want to say Siri.
There's talk of there's been
Siri,
rumor.
call 911.
There's been kind of out here in the rumor mill and speculation that
We have a segment.
I know we did.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, let me go ahead and just play that for a minute. Oh, you can hear that. Anyway, what's that? Oh, there's reading the tea leaves and
Yes.
stuff like that. There's eventually, I think, probably the next couple of months, more than likely, legislation that's going to get brought forth at the federal level, proposed, that would mandate this type of stuff be available.
Well, they may be,
I don't know how it's going to take place, but I feel like the feds are going to intervene at some point soon. This robocall is getting out of control.
you know,
And Verizon, they're kind of getting ahead of that, so they can have some positive PR before they're mandated.
right. And that's a very good possibility.
That's just
I would say that's more probable than anything.
yeah. I mean that's my thought here. As I was reading, it's like they pass that legislation, they get this out ahead of it, like oh we're taking care of our customer. I mean you want to put forth that image. Any company wants to do that, but I think here before long though, regardless if you're a Verizon customer or whoever your carrier is, they'll be mandated to do something like this. I feel like that's coming sooner rather than later.
I got you. Okay. Well, my phone, I'm sure, will continue to do it. So, and also, I get asked if I want to mark that when it's spam or report it.
So that's probably your
or robo.
That's the OS on your phone.
Yes, the OS on the phone is doing it.
Well, this is handled kind of
Correct.
back in at the provider.
Right. That'll be interesting. Maybe they'll argue with each other. Yes,
it is.
No, it is. No, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's Verizon it's Verizon calling to try to sell him something. So it can't be spam.
Let's take this outside.
Yeah. Let's take this off the device. Yeah, y'all fight off the device. I need my device.
Take it outside.
Well, what do we have for rumors this week, Guru? I know I've got a couple.
Now cue up to music.
I've got a couple things here. At least one.
Why don't you go first, Michael?
I will do my best. All right. For all you game players out there, PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, they say that the next gen 3.2 gigahertz AMD Zen nav chip has been outed online.
Whoa.
That's what they say. The key specs that have come out of the decoding of the alpha numeric string show a CPU component with 8 physical cores. That is very cute, Bruce. 3.2. You going to Disney? He's going to Disney.
8 cores is very cute.
Yeah. Pardon me. Let's see. A 3.2 gigahertz boost clock for the chip.
Boost clock.
Man. Let's see. PCI ID that shows a NAV 10 watt GPU. Now, the question is, a lot of questions are swirling around the natty 10 watt GPU. What exactly could that mean? One theory is that this is let's see, what did it say? 1,000? Yeah, a gigahertz. That the 10, I had it right here and now I have lost it.
What are you saying? The 10 is a 1 gigahertz base?
Yeah. Yes, that the 10 may be a 1 gigahertz base. Yeah, I guess
32 is a 3.2 boost, gigahertz boost.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. In they get this from some alphanumeric coding that they've gotten deep within the PlayStation 5. So we'll see. But it'd be interesting. I won't see because I won't have one of these, but maybe you guys will. Somebody will. That is a big console person and wants to pay whatever this is going to cost when it comes out.
$1 million.
No,
$1,000.
Probably around $500.
yeah, $500 is probably what the going
I think
rate.
it's interesting. Of course, these are just, art rendered photos.
Right.
They have no idea really what it's going to look like, but they still have a disc slot available. I don't think the next one will have one.
Have this. I mean, I know my kids, the PlayStation 4 they play on. I mean, well, my son did get one game, the physical disc, but then he had to go out there and download like 2 gigs at least of extra data.
Sure. The patches and updates and
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll play it.
Yeah, that's right. Because he started it, and it was Christmas. He said, "Well, I'm going to get this started so I can play it later."
Yeah.
You knew it was gonna take a while.
I don't think the next one will have one.
That is a good point. Very good point.
Because it will push more people to sign up for what's it called? The PlayStation Network.
I don't know.
Gosh,
Sounds good to me.
Maybe called the PlayStation Network. But the pay, it's like
App
20
Store.
bucks.
PS5.
Well, I mean, it's just like Nintendo just came out with their online platform. It's $20 a year. Like, that's reasonable.
Oh well,
per
PlayStation
per
is.
year.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
PlayStation is like $100 a year.
Yeah, I think
Something-
PlayStation
It's
is
$99,
$100
like
a year.
$100 a year.
PlayStation Network costs.
Because I think we got
it is.
1 year for it. But,
$10 a month. Or you can, I'm sure if you,
so $120.
Maybe
$120.
$100 a year if you pay
are
for a year.
$50 for a year.
Oh, $50.
Wow.
For a year. Well, I was off.
Substantial
Well,
savings.
that would be a huge savings. I know I keep.
Maybe it's $60. No, this is in 2003.
They keep.
Oh,
Right.
well,
It can't be
it's
right.
probably
That's all.
double
Let me
now.
go to their actual
No, I don't do that.
12
It's
month
not-
subscription is $60.
Okay, well, I was awful.
Not bad.
I don't remember what we paid. Maybe that's what we paid
I think that's reasonable
for PlayStation.
for
And I
PlayStation.
guess some of these games you have to have that subscription in order.
Well,
to
you
do-
can't play online with others.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, I think you have to have.
well, I
I might have that part wrong, but
I don't know. I'm playing.
And also,
sometimes.
sometimes it has been with my son. You get,
You get 2 free games a month.
yeah, you can get some games a month, but you also
okay.
can get
But
early
it's not like, yeah.
early access to beta versions of games, like
But-
things that are online.
It's not any game you choose from. They'll have like
Right.
a selection of
Okay.
here's what we're offering this month for free.
I mean,
So,
So
it's not
anyway.
like you can get the latest one coming out. Sometimes it is.
So what's next?
oh, my next.
Sure.
So Apple has inked a deal for a 10-episode season of a as of yet untitled science fiction series from Simon Kinberg and David Wheel, reports Deadline. Simon Kinberg is known primarily for his work with the X-Men series, as well as movies like Mr. and Miss Smith, Jumper, Chappie, Fantastic Four, and The Martian. David Wheel is known for the Hunt, an upcoming TV show about a group of Nazi hunters in the 1970s. So there's some more. There's no really details in it, but Apple. This is the second one I think in the last couple of weeks that we've heard of that they've signed up deals. So things are still pointing to this Apple subscription service, which will include original content. I mean, it's looking like it's going to happen. I mean, they're signing deals with these producers that have produced these shows. I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing I've got here, you want to talk about that? I mean, it's just okay.
Keep going.
This is from 9 to 5 Mag. It's more of a poll, but it talks about basically it's asking people what new Apple product are you most looking forward to in 2019. We talk about rumors. There'll be a new iPhone. There'll probably be a new iPad. There'll probably be this, that, and another. And here's what the poll has for options that you can select. You can ask you what 2019 Apple product are you most excited to see. New 9.7-inch iPad, iPad Mini 5, Mac Pro, an Apple Display, which they've gotten rid of the Apple Display. They're coming back, maybe.
I think they should.
Apple Watch Series 5, iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Max, iPhone 11R, AirPods update, HomePod 2, over-ear headphones, Mac lineup updates like the iMac 12-inch MacBook and MacBook Pro, iPad Pro updates, AirPower, or other.
Oh yeah, I like the other. What would
I'm
other?
excited about.
Of
I'm
course,
excited about other.
of course, this
Other
is
stuff.
very unscientific. I mean, there's so far 13,000 votes as of when the show is airing, and AirPod update has 17.79%, has the most votes currently, followed by iPhone 11/11 Max, and third is the Mac lineup updates, like the iMac 12-inch MacBook, MacBook Pro.
I'm just excited about the thinnest, fastest, greatest Apple product yet.
Toilet paper.
That's guaranteed to happen this year.
Yeah, it'll be better.
Likely
Better than the last one.
Well, Ford,
Yeah,
their F-Series trucks, going electric.
I've heard about that.
And they plan to have,
Take that, Elon Musk.
they plan to have 40, it just says electrified vehicles by 2022. Now, what?
Does that mean all electric?
I don't think it does. I don't think
Electrified,
it does.
it has a battery to run the
Well,
clock.
no, so I'll have to pull this up. Actually, Alabama Power has like a top 10 vehicles list, and towards basically after the top 5, they're just kind of grabbing at straws because there's not enough options out there yet.
No, there's not. You're right.
And I want to say one of them has like a larger battery to be able to, shut off. And you know how some of them, when you come to a police stop, they'll shut off. When you let off the brake, it'll crank back up. So it's, it's kind of a hybrid vehicle at that point. But not a traditional hybrid. So I'll be curious to see. But they are saying that they will have an F-Series fully electric truck coming.
Wow.
We shall see.
We said that a lot on the show. We shall see.
So Google phone patent.
Oh, sorry about that.
You okay over there, Google? Man, I
I'm
said
good.
Google phone, it'd like to kill it.
I know.
With bezel-free
That was like a 4-letter word around there. For
and
me.
front-facing speakers spotted at WIPO, apparently.
Apparently.
So the next phone, they claim, this is the rumor, the next phone could be bezel-free. Now, the front-facing speakers is not new, by the way.
The bezel-free and front-facing speakers. What about a notch? Will it have a notch? That's the question.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
it doesn't show it doesn't show a notch in the renderings.
Oh, notchless.
In these renderings, let's see, wait a minute. The new patent shows off Google phone without any bezels as well as without a notch. Yeah.
So no bezel and no notch.
According to this,
So it went from like you had the cool phone that had a notch to now.
yeah, I don't understand any of this.
So the cool phone will be the notchless.
And see, that's another thing.
Bezel-less phone.
I just like the phone that works.
That's why I
I'm
still
like,
got this phone.
okay,
I'm good.
I don't get the, so, if it had a notch, fine. If it doesn't, I do like the two front-facing speakers, stereo. I do like that. Let's see. I was trying to read anything in, but that's that's pretty much the big news of that story.
Okay.
Is they're looking at possibly the next Google phone having bezel-free front-facing speakers as it already has, and no notch.
We'll have a front forward-facing camera.
Well, yes, it's going to happen.
It'll work through the screen then.
Well, they're going to, the other rumor that's in here somewhere, and I think that they may have a multiple lens front-facing.
Oh, dual or
Something,
more.
yes. Yeah.
The whole front of this, the whole screen's a camera.
Yeah, well,
Selfie.
might as well be.
Yeah. Get the best selfies ever.
And then there's this, real quick for me, I wanted to wrap this up for myself here. Microsoft 365 might replace Office 365 soon. And I would love to tell you more, but I don't think anybody knows exactly what they're talking about. It looks like there's going to be, at some point in the future, a Microsoft 365, not just a Office 365.
I could see that. Software as a service for their whole product line.
Their whole product line.
Not just Office.
And it would be all inclusive,
Including-
encompassing under the name Microsoft 365.
Including Windows. I mean,
Yeah.
That's been speculated by folks for quite some time.
Yes. So,
Yep, everything's going to software as a service.
for better or worse.
You decide.
And that is our rumors for this week.
All right, we had a good many rumors this week.
No, it's not, because I was wanting to get some. Did you guys see where that Verizon? I'm sorry, damn it, y'all had me Verizon crazy. Netflix is going to have a rate hike.
Oh, really?
Yes, this had been rumored a while back, but now apparently it is true that Netflix will have a rate hike.
Yeah, it's $1, right? And they're
Yes.
expecting to lose 8% of their customer base, but then gain 15% in profits. Or
Well,
something like
yes, that's very good, Bruce. That is a lot of what a
that. You're
company
welcome.
a company
Start
did.
over.
No, a company did a survey though along with that. And what I wanted to talk about, they went through this whole survey and then they admitted that when they broke down everything, about 3% of those surveyed said they will definitely cancel.
Well, that's
I would like to see
that's
the
it.
follow-up on that, though.
Yeah, me too.
I'm definitely canceling because I'm hoping if I say that, they'll change their mind.
Yeah. 24% said they might. But now this is not the first time this has happened.
But it
They
goes-
had a price increase in May 2014, and actually the subscriptions went up
Interesting.
after there was an increase of 11% year over
Well,
year.
My observations with Netflix is just the television shows or movies that I want to watch. More often than not, they're not available on Netflix.
Yeah, right.
And some that used to be available on Netflix are no longer available on Netflix. And it's like, if it wasn't for other family members in my household watching it, I wouldn't have Netflix. There's nothing I want to, the things I want to watch, I can't find them on Netflix.
Yeah.
And there's so many competing services now. There's the Hulu and the this and that and the other.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to give Hulu a shot.
But
haven't
I think
done
you
it.
should.
Yeah.
But
I'm just too. I am $5, $10, $15.
if this is what, $1 increase roughly?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't think $1 is going to break most people's budgets when this is kind of with this type of thing. But it's one of those like, well, if you're going to increase the price and I'm not getting anything else, bye. Just an excuse to leave.
Okay, so I agree with you. I think it depends on how you enjoy entertainment. And the reason I'm saying that is because some people some people love Netflix original content. I mean, they really love it.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them, but there are a lot of people apparently. I mean, it's all people can talk about in places.
Oh, I know. I'm not one of those. But
For instance, a bird box. This is a great
Yeah.
example.
It's okay.
No, I know what you're saying.
It's suspense.
No, I got it, but that's not what I want to cover.
Okay.
There has been more news about
Yeah.
the things surrounding Bird Box than the actual product Bird Box or about Bird Box. There's people blindfold themselves and do stupid stuff and make the news. There's discussions of, that got started whether or not the numbers were accurate with single watchers, whether Netflix had the actual numbers were correct about how many people actually watch Bird Box in the first week, because they're trying to figure out a way to be comparative to the movies or the
Yeah.
box office or what have you.
Yeah.
And so, there's all of that going along with Netflix wanting to raise their rates. And the question comes, and this is interesting data here, because I can understand 3% maybe saying, nah, hey, it's not worth it to me anymore.
I'll say this. This would be how much is Netflix? Let's say $15 a month.
Yeah, if you want to have more than one screen.
Okay, so let's say it's $15 a month. The movie would have cost me $15, correct?
No, I agree.
To go see Bird Box, say if it was in regular theater.
Or more.
Yeah, well, let's just say $15. I watched that. If I watched one other thing, that was value added for the money,
Yeah, I get it.
right?
Yeah,
Now, part of going to the movies is the experience.
Yeah.
Just going out and socializing. That is, I don't want to see movie theaters go away. But if you're trying to find a reason to justify I would say you produced a decent movie. You know, some people are going to say it was terrible. Other people say that's the greatest movie ever.
Oh yeah, we can
I definitely think it was suspenseful. It was entertaining. Overall, for me, it was a letdown.
It's $10.99 a month for the
for the lowest end.
standard high definition.
Yeah.
You can, that's two devices at a time. Or you can get a basic, which is standard depth, one screen at a time, $8.99.
Yeah,
Or
who would
kind of the premium is 4 screens at a time, HD and Ultra HD, and it's $15.99 a month.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. But it's going to be going up to $16.99.
Or is that with the change?
That's what it is right now. I went and looked up.
Yeah,
my
I think
account,
that was going to be
so-
$16.99.
Is the price gone up yet?
I don't think so.
I thought the basic was $9.99.
No, it was at one time.
Yeah.
I thought it still was.
Oh, do I still have this pulled up? To speaking of the movies.
Yeah, the standard plan is going from $10.99 to $12.99.
Well, we've got to take a quick break because we got to get one more in. We'll be right back and we'll finish up with this discussion. And also a hack of the week, I think. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
What are we doing? What's the one thing you want to get in?
You were saying you had.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
What is it?
TechiesShow.com. Open 24/7.
It's probably wearing out here.
This whole room's worn out.
Well, yeah, I
The
know.
basic has in presentation.
I really do. I want to print some of them.
In May, subscribers got hit with a $2 a month price increase. The cost rising from $7.99 to $9.99 in May 2016.
Books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Native Alabama.
I will say I've watched some. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was one that was produced, I think, in Brazil. But it was a really good
The success of the novel.
Netflix original.
Sponsored by
I'm trying to remember the name of it.
The EVA and this station.
But it was a good show.
Soldier in the Army National Guard.
Another thing too is you may want to start using a VPN under Netflix. You can have access to more things.
Okay.
Science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up.
But on this device, not on. Put a VPN behind the whole network.
Yeah.
Like
You can change which country you want to go to.
Yeah, I put it behind the whole network. You do Paya behind your network.
Do what?
You do Paya.
Oh, yeah, you can. I don't have mine set up that way.
I don't either. I don't want to run my entire network behind the VPN.
Yeah,
I have it. I turn it on when I need to use it
I
on
will
my
say-
devices.
I'll say on my phone because you know Google's got the always on VPN for theirs. Sometimes that's terrible whenever I'm shopping because I'll be looking for something. It'll say, "Oh, you're in California." I'm like, "No, honey,
That's where you're coming out at.
that's where my IP address." And that site doesn't necessarily do GPS based and ask you for your permission. It just says we're going to guess based off your IP address.
Right.
So, Guru, good job with the music this week, man.
Oh,
Always good.
I thought you weren't a fan of one of the bumpers.
I don't care. I just,
Just saying good job.
I can live with it.
I was inspired by several sources for.
Well, it's excellent, man.
Well,
You always do a fabulous job. Guru always did a fabulous job. Just to add a little bit more of intrigue to this, one more aspect of this Netflix thing. Says here in this other article, Netflix spent around $13 billion on content creation and licenses last year.
13
billion
with a B.
with a B.
That's,
All that means is they could have built 2 walls. Sorry, I had to get that in comparative. Bruce, what were you going to say?
So as I say, in the past you've been really obsessed with Movie Pass.
Yeah,
I was thinking about movie
I
Pass
just-
when we were talking about Netflix.
Yeah, so
I don't know about obsessed. I just can't figure it out.
So apparently the parent company, Hillis and Matheson, have made a confidential filing with SEC setting the stage for the unit's planned spinoff. So MoviePass will be its own thing. But
It's not already its own thing?
well, no, it's actually not.
Oh, okay.
It's under other things.
Oh, okay.
But apparently AMC and Cinemark already have subscription services. Did not realize that. So, you know, they may end up losing this altogether, but in turn have forced movie theaters to start doing subscription services.
Yeah, I still don't get it.
Well, they've got the movie
It's for
theater,
people to go to the movies.
but movie theaters in general have got to figure out how to combat
Get that.
the whole streaming revolution.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, and if you offer some sort of a subscription model where it's kind of an all you can consume at this set price per month,
Well,
sort of.
They're going to have to do something. Otherwise, what's going to happen is what Bruce fears is very few theaters left.
Yeah.
I mean, the model's going to have to change.
Well, it's just like the whole retail model. I mean, brick and mortar stores are going away.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly.
We talked about that.
You know, Sears did get a shot in the arm. They did accept the bid from Eddie Lambert and his company. I think he had to bump the offer up to over like $5 billion, but I think it did get accepted. But I think I hate to say it for Sears, I think their days are still numbered, unfortunately. But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong in this case. But this is not going away now. Maybe.
Over 700 million email IDs, 21 million passwords leaked in a collection #1 data breach, according to researchers. Now, this broke, let's see, this was January 17th.
Yeah, it was a couple days ago.
It was a couple of days ago. But what I find fascinating to me about this is that with this many, like Bruce and I were talking about the show, it's almost like some of these are bundled.
It is.
Like from other breaches.
However, there is a bunch of new data in with that. And you can download the full password list. That's like 85 gigs.
Yeah, I saw that.
And there's people calling for, I guess, companies to basically have that, and if your hash is in there, first of all, they should be salting. We've talked about this before.
I know.
But anyways, saying, hey, you can't, just putting those passwords in a list of unusable passwords. Basically, if you sign up for a new service or you're changing your password, not allowing you to change it to something that's in that list. And that will never happen because you're preventing somebody signing up for something.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
And, yes, that would be the right thing for them to do, but it's not going to happen because on the other side, it's not the right thing for them to do in order to get that person. So
yeah, I just don't see. I see that, but I think that's very short-sighted.
What not
to not do it? I think that's very in the long run. No, what I'm saying is I just don't see. I don't necessarily believe that they would lose that many. I think people eventually would appreciate the fact that they're trying to. It's how they do it. It's more to me if they were to do this. Say, okay, we have found that password on a list of leaked passwords.
Yes,
we would like you not to use that one.
So you get into several things. So if they do allow you to use it, okay, so somebody's got to run the numbers on this, right? And say,
oh sure,
all right, potentially would lose
3%
3% of potential clients if we didn't allow them to use this. However, if we took them in, there's only a 1% chance.
Oh yeah, I get them.
This segment will even be
bean counters.
Yeah, and say, well, we had to pay this much. We've made this much profit, and that's really a conversation for off the air when we were talking about Tesla. At some point you've got to decide whether it's the right thing to do It's the right thing to do it, whether it makes you money or not.
Yeah.
Because you can
I
make
get
the money
that.
in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you may not make as much of it.
Yeah.
But it's still the right thing to do.
I still
but like you
think it'd
said,
be-
maybe long term.
I still think, yeah, I think it'd still be profitable.
Yeah, it would still
I
be
just think,
profitable.
and I think people would appreciate it eventually. It takes
Eventually.
time to educate.
It does. Hopefully people are.
Well, no, everybody's not, because you can't
Yeah, so it's
educate
so,
everybody.
yeah, this is so
You can't
inconvenient.
educate everybody, or always, and explain. Even if you do it in the best way, you can't.
And
you
really,
won't win
even
everybody
that,
over.
even if they didn't understand that, maybe it's like, okay, letting this person be on here is a risk.
Yeah, but as you said,
As long as their money pays.
yeah, as long as everybody.
I mean, if we're gonna make $1,000 off,
I
of
want
you,
my password to be password.
yeah,
What's that one I saw?
it's terrible.
That their password is, your username or password is incorrect. That's the password. So when it comes back to them, they say, "Oh yeah, there's my password. I remember it
I
now."
saw it. I saw it.
Incorrect password.
The password is incorrect. Now I remember, oh, it's incorrect.
Yeah, yeah. The password is incorrect. That's a good one too. Your username or password is incorrect.
That's my username and
And
my
my
password.
password.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Well, real quick here, I got a space.
Oh, of course. I've been
going
gone all night. I can't believe you haven't busted.
So
by now.
probably a year or so ago, SpaceX bought like a place at a pier at the port of Los Angeles.
Yes.
It was rumored that's where they're going to build the Starship.
Right.
The BFR, the
Starship
big
Enterprise, right?
Well, they call it Starship. It's called back then BFR.
I know.
But they did announce this past week they're moving the development of that spacecraft and that rocket to their South Texas site, and that they'll still build, like Falcon 9 will still be built in Hawthorne, and the Starship and the development of the Raptor engine, which will be on this Starship, it's still going to be done in Hawthorne, but the building of the actual rocket and the Starship is not going to be done in Los Angeles because, Musk went to Twitter, as he always does.
Sure.
He says that, it's the size of those make them very difficult to transport. So
Right.
there you have it. That's my SpaceX news for the week.
Wow. Well, it's because it's so much bigger in Texas. He heard
That's right.
Texas so much
That's right.
bigger.
Don't
And
mess with Texas.
if he's going to build
to
something
Texas.
big, it's going to be in Texas.
That's right.
Change it to the BTR.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to us. We appreciate you listening. From all of us to all of you, have a fabulous week.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by the Guru and co-produced by Mike Stone.
Lord.
Join us again next
It's like-
another exciting
Oh,
installment
it's come
of The
apart.
Techies Show.
Well,
It's coming apart. It's not a problem. It's old.
As soon as I order,
This broken?